fucking god. I'm going to cut that out. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Left Look. It's Thursday, January 24th, and I'm here with my best buddies, DJ.
Hello.
And Jacob.
Hello, sir.
And we have a guest this week, if you didn't already put that together. It's Adam.
Our first guest.
I'm the first guest? Holy shit.
Yeah,
You're the first guest.
We've been. He's an avid listener. He's pretending he doesn't know that he's the first guest. He's our instrumentation and musical talent and first guest, though.
Yep.
Thanks for having me.
That's better than being the first lady. Oh.
Yeah. A little bit of Adam's handiwork there.
Yeah.
Great. Yep.
I did that.
We appreciate it deeply because we were committing a crime with our last
No, we were using it for commentary purposes.
parody only.
Yep.
Um,
Welcome to Left Look.
Music I make.
This is a premier independent podcast from the Gatto Institute where we'll be talking a look at Canadian international arts, culture, and entertainment to provide you with an unbiased left-wing perspective. You'll see YouTube premier podcast independent on the Institute Gatto and independent on the diverse strong Canadian international and perspective and partial de gauche.
I hope that slur effectively becomes like true Quebecois eventually. It's just like,
Yeah.
That's how the language developed.
that's how language develops broadly, but I doubt that language in particular.
Yeah, that's podcast introductions.
Yeah, but Quebecois is a huge podcasting language.
Mm.
Just it's huge. Montreal, the Montreal dialect, huge in podcasting.
Adam's
Yeah,
actually,
that's why they're so
we've had him
fucking
on
insufferable.
because he's one of those guys who reads Chomsky for the linguistics, and that's explicitly why we've had him on this week. We're really going to break down the undulations and the translations from N's to L's and things like that.
That's my thing.
He's really the most boring man on earth.
Adam, tell us a little bit. What's your favorite book by Chomsky?
Shit. I'm gonna have to say all of them.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
But his most recent one is his best. He's just getting better.
Okay, all right.
For sure. Yeah, his later work is it's much more refined.
Yes, absolutely. He's
I've read Chomsky books. I just couldn't remember them off the top of my head.
I don't believe you.
You'd think he'd fall off as he gets older, but he's still just chomp skin at the bit.
Chomp skin at the bat.
No, I read a Chomsky book. Correction. I indented one in my mind because another one's like a lecture notes between a conversation, a famous conversation that he and Foucault had one time. I've read a lot of Foucault.
That's not a book.
So.
Imagine being so leftist that you just invent Chomsky books in your mind.
So, man, I'm so leftist that I'm like, man, I don't know if Foucault's like an acceptable position to have anymore, you know, like the way he dismisses Marxism so explicitly is just like a terrible position to have in modern philosophy, and it kind of dismisses like any work that he brings.
Yeah, he can Foucault off.
Parallel thinking.
Yeah, we have two Julians on the show tonight.
Yeah, pretty much.
Julian 1 and then the Echo.
I do just want to distinguish myself, though, and say that I did actually have to read Chomsky for the linguistics.
Really?
Yeah, because
that's
it
terrible.
Programming languages.
Oh, that's interesting. In what way?
I don't know. His theory of language can be applied to programming languages.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Did that
just broadly?
Did that cancel out the Ayn Rand that you read in high school?
Yes. Set me straight back.
Was Julian an Ayn Rand addict?
I think for some reason he was reading. I think Atlas Shrugged. Yeah,
I gave it a shot. Neil Peart liked it.
Yeah.
Neil Peart?
Look what happened to him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rode a motorcycle across the country and died.
Yeah, no, that's just a terrible ideology. But, you know, we all did weird things in our teen years, becoming on our path to enlightenment.
I've had a lot of discussions about Neil Peart, but he was repentant about liking Ayn Rand in his later years, and he not even his later years, like that was when he was in like college, when he was into it, when he was writing those early Rush albums, and then
I thought you were talking about Julian still.
The world is
yeah.
so dystopic and sad with
I'm
like
also
no
repentant.
amount of room for artistic expression that like Neil Peart, like someone I think who like has a lot of bangers, like really good artistic takes on linguistics. I have no ability to appreciate music, but whatever. Even if he was enraptured by like the libertarian Ayn Rand ideology, it wouldn't matter that much to me because everything else is so shitty that being shitty just doesn't ruin the goodness in it for me.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fair. I think, artists draw their inspiration from certain things, but they end up creating something that can inspire others in a completely different way. Like
I think artists are just like oracles. They're just like they have seizures and and rapture and are able to tap into the zeitgeist, but are mostly morons. Like,
yeah. This conversation sucks. Let's talk about the Cat movie.
No,
I got to talk about Steven Crowder first. Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Yeah,
gonna
sure.
get worse before it gets better.
Yeah, no, only quickly. Steven Crowder was mentioned on the last episode. We thought maybe a couple episodes ago. It doesn't matter. He's in the news right now because Ben Shapiro's company offered him $50 million, and he's making this big stink about how Ben Shapiro's company buddies up to big tech, and he rejected the offer, and it's because if he gets demonetized on YouTube or Twitter, he like loses 10% per big company. He gets demonetized on it. But it was like $50 million. That's like so much money for what he fucking does. Yeah. But there has been all this drama on the right, intra-right violence, and a take that I haven't seen yet that I'm going to put out into the internet is that Candace Owens is taking advantage of this to mend her Kanye drama that was just like 2 weeks ago, where she was like on the side of like a Jew-hating black Hitler, right? And at the same time, she's working for Ben Shapiro, who is like the most Jewish man in America. Yeah, exactly. Right. And so her fucking immediately jumping on this fight over some bullshit contract thing, like with all the violence and ability to draw cameras towards it as possible, is because she fucked up not like 3 weeks ago and nobody can remember a month ago. And that's that's going on. Anyways, that's the end of that bit.
Thank you for letting us formally know. I knew very few people who you just talked about, but I'm sure everyone who found it informative thanks you.
Yep.
So
Nobody
on a
watches
scale,
this show.
On a scale of Neil Peart to Kanye West, how redeemable is your right-wing ideology?
My right white?
If for like, at what point does it get to a point where like you can separate the music that they create?
If you're an actually like an awake person, like not an NPC, and you can form a consistent thought and a political ideology, I hold you to a radically different standard than the everyman.
Yeah. In my eyes, Kanye's already redeemed just because he wrote in Paris.
Yeah, like Kanye, there's no ability for me to hate Kanye because he's just off. He's just a sick man.
No, I totally agree. I think he's been given a platform and he shouldn't.
Yeah.
Like he shouldn't be talking. Like it's like
the only
he's a sick man. He needs help. Like that's been clear for a long time, and we're just seeing him spiral.
The only reason he had the ability to succeed at all is because the environment, the capitalist structure, encourages only like the most con man, the most psychopathic con mans that get imaginable, right? And him just like believing that he's Black Jesus or whatever is just like
Jesus.
Yeah, the most end times capitalist expression of that, the post late, whatever you want to call it. Let's talk about Puss in Boots. This is depressing.
Oh, what? Our show has to be happy now?
No, but like, in fact,
Yeah, we don't have a good streak there.
Yeah.
Named an episode just a little bit ago, the first happy episode, like some kind of sulk boy. Like, jeez.
Yeah, we're just three sulky soy boys.
4.
4 today, yeah.
It felt like an
I'm feeling
accusation
good.
because I'm definitely the sulkiest, right? I'm Eeyore. Like, that's fine.
Eeyore's
He says
definitely
with
the most
dejection.
the gothest resident of the 100 Acre Wood.
Oh, for sure.
So
Christopher Robin is probably on the opposite end of the spectrum there. Sorry, I'm all about spectrums today.
It's
you're
all right.
on the spectrums, and that makes sense. It's not just today you're all about spectrums, is how I should have wittily responded to that.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay. You're on the spectrum. Don't worry.
Thank you. So after we reviewed Avatar: The Way of Water, we
great movie.
It was a movie. But anyways, after we reviewed that, DJ sent a meme to the group chat, and it was like one of those memes where a beta is looking at a Chad, and in this case, the beta was the Avatar 2 and its Rotten Tomatoes reviews with its critic and audience score of like a combined 82 average or some shit like that. And Puss in Boots, which has like a 98 or some nonsense, or a 95, something incredible. I don't look it up. I don't know facts. I just spread misinformation. But
You got the idea.
The idea is there.
I think they had the same audience score. Am I right?
No.
It was very similar audience score, but the critic scores were very different.
Yes.
And this was weeks ago, mind you. I'm sure it's different now. If one were to look it up,
flattened out for sure. That makes sense. But it's incredible. I thought it was a great movie. Like,
I did really like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like beyond Avatar 2. I almost thought, man, I would go see that in theaters had I not seen it already, pirating it from the internet. And I guess that's the difference and why I like all these complaints about Avatar 2 that are going to manifest in the form of my praise of
because you went to see it with your friends.
Yeah, I went to see Avatar 2 with a group of people. I never do that. And Jim Cameron's like, you do what I fucking tell you, right? And no matter what praise I can give to Puss in Boots, and I'm going to give some pretty high fucking praise, it just doesn't stack up to the fact that, like, I am Jim Cameron's bitch, and I am going to go see Avatar 3. Like,
I'm not going to see Avatar 3.
Yeah, that's me neither. Good, let's. I just thought because the group was gonna go, but if one other person stands up first, I'm right behind you.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm not going to do it again.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
I'm not here to yuck anyone's yums. I know Julian liked the movie. That's great.
Big yum.
I don't think I've ever hated a movie more. Like since watching it,
hated a movie more.
I've seen worse movies, but like since watching it and just thinking about it and like reading about it, just I don't know. It grosses me out.
We put a pretty scathing review out, me and DJ, between the two of us on The Way of Fodder, but you think you're like beyond that. You're like repulsed by it, eh?
Yeah, I listened to your episode today and I was like, they were way too nice.
We're dealing with the internet. The internet loves it, right? Most people are just off, right? They're like, "Oh, it's so pretty." Like,
I don't even think
whales.
it looks good. Like, the 3D, like, sure, the technology is, I guess, good, but like the cool thing for me about the first movie, which also wasn't my favorite, but like I enjoyed it at the time. It was like kind of like a cool alien world, and there was like all these cool creatures, and the bioluminescence and all of the the floating mountains and all that cool stuff. But then this whole movie takes place on the fucking beach, like and then like swimming around a coral reef and stuff. Like that could have been on
being
her.
Unfair, Adam. When it's not on the beach, they do shot for shot remakes of the original movie.
Yeah. So I mean that's not my biggest issue I have with the movie.
What is it? Why are you repulsed?
I just didn't like it. Like it was just.
It felt soulless. It felt like a soulless cash grab. Like I said.
I don't think it was a cash grab. I think James Cameron fully has his heart in this thing. I just think he's not a good writer.
Ooh, man, that is such a like. Have you seen Alien? Like,
I've seen Alien. I don't think Aliens is a particularly well written movie. It's fun. It's entertaining. I mean,
that I accept that Aliens 30 years later can just be a soulless cash grab and just be like light entertainment and just be okay. You know what I mean? But like Avatar 2, he's like made out to be his like magnum opus, like his life
and all of that
sends a
and
message.
Like in a complete vacuum, if I'd seen this movie and it was by some like no name guy, and I probably wouldn't like it, but it wouldn't make me, I wouldn't hate it, you know, but in like, given the context of the amount of money that was put into this movie, how this is this director's supposed, you know, magnum opus thing that he's, you know, put his whole soul into, and then this is what comes out. It's just sad. Like,
sad, yeah. Well,
like,
I'm glad that you're.
And I know, and it speaks to a lot of people. I'm glad people like it. I like tons of stupid bullshit too, but like, but I don't know. It's just every fucking line of dialogue was just bad, and every character
Sully
was just
stick together.
not. And it's like every character was just so unlikable to me.
That's not true. There's
Every-
a couple characters I liked.
No.
Ahab was a crowd favorite.
I hated. He was maybe my least favorite.
Jesus, you're just a dour man. Maybe
I
Perhaps
like
we
most
don't want
things.
you on our side.
I like most things. That
We're
is
gonna
true.
transition to
I
Puss in
very
Boots 'cause
rarely,
you
I
like
very
things.
rarely see a movie that I don't like. I could
That-
usually find something I like in a movie. This
That's
was the
true.
first time in a long time that I have seen something and I was just like, no, not for me.
Okay, yeah. On to Puss in Boots here.
Puss in
Will.
Boots. Love Puss in Boots. It was really good.
So we invited Adam on because one, he did our music and we're looking to get into interviews, but you know, and this is a light transition. But two, I knew that he had watched the entire animated series on Disney Plus, and I know I'm kind of outing him saying that to like
No.
an online crowd, but like, I don't think it's a negative at all. And honestly,
It's not
I
Disney Plus, it
appreciate
was
the
Netflix.
lore master position that you can occupy here tonight. Like,
I'm glad you did invite me on because I hadn't thought about that series in a long time, but I really did like it too. It was, I mean, I think on IMDb it's like a
dude, for you to
6
come
point
in
something.
here and just shit all over Avatar 2 and then just be like, the Puss in Boots animated series.
I would 100% stand by it though. Like it is the animated series. You know, it's cute. It's well written, and it's like, you know, there's some good jokes in there, and it was a nice. I think there was like 12 episode seasons, 5 or 6 seasons, and like it was just a nice kind of story, and it wasn't like every episode was, you know, there was like a monster of the week kind of thing, but you know, there was a story progression throughout the whole thing too, and I liked it. And this movie reminded me a lot of that series, honestly. Mainly because of the character Puss in Boots was in both of them, but
Does
yeah, it was kind of the
Antonio
same.
Banderas voice in the animated series as
No,
well?
no, there's a pretty convincing stand-in for the series, but no, he was missed.
I started watching it today, and about 3 minutes in, I realized I couldn't peg if it was Antonio Banderas or not, and I was like, I'm just gonna watch it, and then I'll look at the end, and then it was him, and I was pleasantly surprised because like I'd already fallen in love with the movie and thought it was a great character. He was a great character and had done well and all that shit, but like,
Yeah, he did a really good reprisal of the role.
Did you guys? I don't know if we're gonna have like a structured discussion about the movie or go turn by turn, but I was gonna ask, did you find the movie funny?
Yes.
Yeah.
no.
There were some lines that were obviously, you know, intended for a more family audience, and a lot of, you know, visual gags that were maybe a little crass, but
Yeah.
when the
Come on.
Yeah, on the whole, I'd say probably not, but there were some very funny lines and very funny moments.
yeah, that's what I'm trying to get at. There were
funny
definitely moments.
but like it didn't live up to the Shrek genealogy where it's like there should be some terrible fucking really crass humor that children don't get and it's like directly to the adult audience. This was just like a really family oriented movie in my opinion, like really well wholesome.
Yeah,
And
when
I-
I accepted. Sorry, DJ.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say when I accepted, okay, this is like a family movie. It's not. I'm not gonna find it funny. I found myself enjoying it a lot more, like for what it was, and
And
Yeah,
despite
I
its
think
family
to
movie
compare. Wait your turn. I want to talk. I want to say a thing. I think to compare in that same vein that, you know, that it is a family movie, that it's not trying to be Shrek, is, you know, it wants to be a film of its own merit. You know, similar to or comparatively to the first film, which was very much like an offshoot of the Shrek franchise, trying to capitalize on it.
I don't know.
Did you see the first film?
Did you see at the end where they gave the like a what's it a cliffhanger, and the cliffhanger
For sure.
is we're gonna go link up with far
for sure, yeah, linking it back into,
that.
but I think the film itself is not
guess.
trying to be part of the Shrek overarching thing. It's very much trying to be a Puss in Boots film.
And I think this is the first Puss in Boots, or the first thing in the Shrek universe that that takes place after the Shrek movies, because the other Puss in Boots, I think the show and the first movie are prequels, right?
Yes, they are.
Yes.
I don't totally remember about the show, but I think it was a prequel.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this one's after
it was...
Shrek is dead, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Shrek is killed.
Yeah.
The
When
first
Shrek
episode, yeah,
died,
that's right.
Shrek 7.
The first
No.
episode. First episode of the series starts with the life leaving Shrek's eyes.
All right. Despite this being a really like family-oriented kids show, I really liked. Well, one, how it going back to what you guys just said, how it made it its own thing by using those fairy tales that were lesser known. I mean, I guess Goldilocks and the Three Bears are in Shrek 1. I remember seeing them now that I'm thinking about it. But
there's
a lot of
line.
that. Like in the Shrek universe, there's lots of reused characters. Because in the fourth Shrek movie, which I think I saw
Jesus
once.
Wait, no, that's the Rumpelstiltskin one, right?
Yeah. So
I've
yeah,
seen it.
Rumpelstiltskin's like huge role, and then but he's also in an earlier movie, but he looks totally
probably in,
different.
like Prison Line in 1 or whatever, right?
Right.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So there's lots of that. Like it's not.
Retconning is not a sin, and I wasn't gonna like really lay into it for it. Like
I was just pointing out like it happens in the Shrek universe. The writers of each movie don't talk to each other, but that's fine.
Besides the real villain, the John Mulaney character, the thumb guy. What's his name?
Hornton?
Little.
I'm not helping you guys out.
Little
Horn Thumb.
Horker.
big.
Horn Thumb.
Horkin.
Whatever. I don't know I don't know the nursery rhyme. Like I've heard
fuck.
it, but I don't know it off the.
Jack
Yeah.
Horner.
Jack
That's
Horner.
it. That's
That
it.
is.
Horner. Yeah.
Stuck his
I
thumb in a
believe an English nursery rhyme.
Mm-hmm.
Hence why
Yeah.
we probably are very poorly versed in it.
They do a scene in his introduction making fun of how nobody gives a shit about his fucking nursery rhyme, and like they show it next to Pinocchio, and Pinocchio's like, "Look how fucking dope I am," and it's like his villain origin story, but it's actually not. If you listen closely, his origin story is brought up when he's talking with the conches, Geppetto, right? That's that.
Yeah. Well, the cricket.
Yeah, the cricket.
Jiminy Cricket.
Yes, the Jiminy
It
Cricket.
wasn't actually
stand-in.
him, but I think
No.
on IMDb he's credited as I think.
Oh, I guess they don't have.
Sorry,
Do they not have rights?
I have to
If
look
they-
it up. It was really funny. It's
I believe the Jiminy Cricket character.
ethical bug.
Ethical
Oh,
bug.
that's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, when he was talking to Jiminy Cricket, he brought up the fact that did you have like a terrible childhood? Maybe there's something that went wrong. He's like, no, I was brought up in a mansion with all this stuff that I thought was so good. I was like, the whole film was an attack at rich people and really like a lesson for poor people on how you should judge your rich heroes. I think like it showed a couple different versions of how you could be rich, with Puss in Boots being like an Elon Musk figure, and like someone like the Jack Horner being like a Bill Gates figure. These heroes, these people who have control of their fates, and how just like empty they are, and what drives them on, and what their passions are. Right? Like I thought it was really funny, and that like there was a solution presented at the end too. Right? Which is that Puss. He deals with death. He acknowledges death, right? And if you did that, then you would stop doing all this psycho shit that billionaires do, like, I don't know, going out to space and trying to colonize Mars and shit like that. Like, just if you just accepted that you're gonna die, you would fucking do good things for the universe. Like, but there are some people who are just like irredeemable, like the Jack Horner character. I thought it was really subversive messaging, but you know, maybe Julian thought it was just a cat film. What do you think?
Yeah, it was just a cat film, but a good cat film. I enjoyed it.
You liked it, eh?
I did. Watching Puss in Boots die 9 times right off the hop. Excellent.
8, but yeah.
Or yeah, I guess. And then the dog that introduces himself as for brains, man.
Yeah, when he goes off swearing at the bears and the really chav bear, I think it's chav, right? That fucking really late or working class English accent. The dad
technically Cockney, but
Cockney
you would call
is
them a
what
chav.
I was looking for. I was looking for Cockney.
Yeah, it was played by.
He's a famous actor.
Yeah. Olivia Colman did the Mama Bear.
Olivia Colman's way more famous. She was the queen in The Crown in seasons 3 and 4.
I know she's famous.
I'm selling the audience, Adam. Yeah.
Yeah, Adam is the audience. This is going to be weird. Weird for Adam next week.
Yeah.
Playing for fucking crickets.
Gonna have a pretty big drop in viewership.
Anyway,
100%.
That's implying I'm not going to listen to this episode more than I've listened to any other.
He just admitted online that he's more inclined
deeply
to listen to
narcissistic.
this. Yeah. But anyways, when the dog was doing his bleep swears at the English dad, and the English dad goes, "I like the cut of his jib." Like, I love that. Like, the swear words connected them. Like, that was so good.
I really enjoyed that they were actual like hard bleeps and not like pussyfooting around it or substituting words or anything. Like,
Yeah.
You like, I couldn't make out what most of the swear words were. Actually, I thought I could sub in many things.
Oh, no.
But I did appreciate the hard bleeps.
they were all the N-word when he was talking to the bears. It was
Really?
Yep.
No.
Yeah, I got a copy of the script.
I'm gonna rewatch that. You're lying to me.
Yeah.
He's lying to you, Jacob.
I have autism. You can't do that.
There is probably at least one in there though, which
I bet
You can't say there isn't.
yeah.
It's Schrodinger's N-word.
Yeah. No, that
Anyways,
part rocked.
So my evidence for this is like a moral lesson against rich people was the intro, and I thought it really early, and it came from the intro when he was doing his little party and he had all these people singing his name and he was giving them shit, giving them stuff, and it was when the rich governor came in, and like everyone hated this guy, and he's just like this rich fat noble guy who's like he's got defects from all the inbreeding that he's suffering from, right?
Right.
And the comparison between the two types of heroes is like this one guy who's just like full of bravado, obviously, and obviously a sham, right? Like the lesson of this movie is that all of the Puss in Boots that has come before is just a fucking sham, and that he's a bitch really in reality, and that he can't live up to it until like now, basically, right? And it just reminded me so much of like Elon Musk and other characters like that. Sam Bankman-Fried, other people in the news that are like supposed to be business mogul people who will take you to the promised land and can slay dragons of any type that they want, and really they're just like way shittier than the inbred fucking nobles that we have. Like,
yeah, they're easier for people to latch on to in one regard.
Yeah.
Hence why the whole town is, oh, wow, great, Puss in Boots. And then the governor shows up and everyone just goes, oh.
Yeah.
Party pooper. Womp.
Well, hang on. That guy had a legitimate claim to his private property.
Did he?
Which one?
The governor.
Yeah.
Well, I think he had as legitimate a claim as Puss did, which is,
Yeah, it was probably
Force.
just stolen native land anyways.
Yeah, he's definitely Spanish, right? So,
Yeah, right.
in fact, he was made up to be very white Spanish, and the rest of the crowd was made to be very, South America Hispanic. Brown Hispanic, I want to say, but I was scared too. I'm just gonna face down that dragon.
Yeah.
I think we said a lot worse last week.
No,
or 2 weeks
you
ago.
did.
Yeah, but then you gave me an apology, so it's fine.
Yeah, I don't know if you track the bleeps. I think Julian wins.
Yeah.
But,
well, I have the button. That's why.
It's true. Jacob doesn't.
The magic button.
The magic censor button. Yeah, that's an interesting take. I didn't read anything. I didn't really get any political vibes off the film at all, but I wasn't looking for them.
Yeah, me neither. But
Me neither. But I think
I
Puss in
wasn't really
Boots.
looking for them.
Puss in Boots as
My-
Elon Musk is not a bad analogy.
No,
My
no.
other evidence for this is obviously a political film. Is the narrative about what families are, right?
Mhm.
Like for them to do like just a straight up adoption gig, right? In this modern moment where there's so much argument about adoption in the Twitter sphere, like not in reality, right? But in like the political reality, and that there's this movement among minorities to resist it because they see it as like white people just like erasing their culture and things like that, and it's just like upper class white people trying to make themselves feel better about the fucking vapid imperialistic capitalism they take part in, which is, you know, a critique, but like what else is the alternative? Let kids starve and things like that and suffer brutality for no reason.
Yeah.
Right? So it's kind of a vapid critique. But
I get the point behind that, but literally the best thing you could possibly do for someone is, like, for a kid who's experiencing poverty, is to take them in and like, help them, right?
I was just presenting the critique. Like I'm totally on that side.
I understand where it's coming from, and I think it's important that cultures are, you know,
preserved. But like the child's well-being, how can that be an evil?
It has to be paramount.
And like more evidence towards that is the linkage between Puss in Boots and his family, right? And like the way that he avoids death is this like kind of slapdash family that's put together, right? His old flame and their new retarded son. I've decided that I'm using the R word, the hard R word again. And I'm doing an aside here, and it's because
soliloquy.
Yeah.
To the crowd.
I saw
the stage lights dim.
I saw in a movie. This is my show. I don't give a fuck. I saw in a movie that came out in 2022 that a young girl who was like 13 said, "You look disabled," right? And I was like, she used that as a slur, right? That's just the next taboo, right? If we're just gonna do shifting taboos, I'm just gonna be an old man and refuse to change my fucking vocabulary. Retarded
That's how it starts.
phase.
That's how it starts, and here you are. This is the hill you die on.
Yeah, I'm not getting conservative, but I will choose weird hills to die on, and I think that's okay.
Out of curiosity, what is retarded with a soft R?
I guess you're right. I don't know why I said it like that.
It's because you're recognizing that it's actually a slur. Subconsciously.
No, I don't. It is a negative thing. It is a spectrum that extends to people that I mean no harm, right? Like, and they're not going to be listening to my political podcast, hopefully. Hopefully they're watching Arthur or some shit.
Okay, all right. That might have been a step too far. But I heard a really good point the other day that the funniest kids you knew in elementary school were just the best at acting retarded.
That's funny.
Right? Yeah? No?
No. I mean, I'm outnumbered here. I went to a school with a bunch of hicks, and so like that gag was common and always just super offensive. And
that's true.
It was never funny to me. But I am a terrible child and a terrible adult by proxy. That could be argued. But I digress.
One time on my quest to make our French teacher cry,
kill herself.
It was all our quests. I got up on a desk and jumped off it and tucked my legs in and flapped my arms and said really loudly aloud, "I'm an eagle." and I thought it was the funniest thing I've ever done. I still to this day think it's hilarious.
Let's deconstruct that joke. Well, so what's funny about that?
Just the fucking disruption of it all, the nonsensical of it.
I can respect that at least.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm glad I didn't go to school with you three. I probably would have beat you up for that gag, Jacob. No, I wouldn't. I might have.
So I'm glad you brought up the side plot there about like the family.
The B plot.
Because I kind of felt, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'll have to think about it, but that whole thing, that whole side kind of felt a little unnecessary.
No, because the way it connects, the way it connects to Puss in Boots' family, it provides a real escape to the people that the movie is actually directed at, which is not like the titans of industry, but are like the mini tyrants that populate our capitalist world, right? Like the owner of a couple fucking car dealerships or something like that. You can just go get a family, is what the fucking movie's message is. You can just go love people, like.
Okay. But I just kind of felt like I hate to say this because I absolutely love Florence Pugh, but like, the person who played Goldilocks.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But
she's what else is she in? I looked. She's in a bunch of shit. What's the biggest?
Midsummer.
No.
She'd do great at marketing firearms.
Fuck.
Pew pew.
Boo! Boo!
I'm filling the space while Jacob Googles something.
That's true.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of felt like every time that it drifted toward that, like I don't really have a problem with it.
No.
Like
She was in Black Widow most recently.
I guess
she was the Scarlett Johansson's cousin or whatever.
Sister, yeah.
No, I'm with you though, Adam. That felt like unnecessary woke nonsense.
No, but
I didn't have a problem with the messaging, and I think it could have been integrated in a little bit better. Like what Jacob's saying, it does kind of fit with the plot of like the A plot of the movie, but it kind of felt a little disjointed, and that's really my biggest criticism.
It felt disjointed, but did you not cry when the mama bear got fucking hurt by Goldilocks and was just like, "Well, no matter, dear, we'll get you whatever you need." I shed tears. I was like, how can Mama Bear just take that on the chin and just extend love right back? It was just like, that's good.
And it could have been nice. I felt, I mean, one of the things I liked about the movie is the fact that it was an hour and 40 minutes long. Like, I didn't want to sit for another 3-hour movie, but I probably would have been happy, like, if this movie was a little bit longer and maybe did explore that a little bit more and built those connections between the two plot lines a little better.
We're doing Lawrence of Arabia next week.
But the other thing is, I did like the idea of it being like kind of a, multiple factions of people all kind of chasing the same thing. Like that's kind of an interesting.
Yes.
Like that's always kind of a fun. Like almost like a rat race kind of thing, where you're kind of following these people. They're all in the same goal, and they're all kind of, it's a fun.
That brings me to something else I wanted to mention. This movie felt a lot like Bullet Train.
That's funny.
For exactly that reason.
That's a big circle to come back to.
I did go and watch Bullet Train, Julian, after trying to predict the plot of Bullet Train, I don't know, some 10 episodes ago. I had no idea what happened in that film before I'd watched it. The nonsense that I spouted online.
I mean, you were close enough based on the trailers, but...
Yeah,
no, the movie's great. Yeah, whole bunch of characters pursuing the same goal. I feel like the British Chav Bear kid was in Bullet Train as well. I'm not sure about that.
Oh.
That could be me just saying partially, not really racist nonsense, but definitely nonsense.
I mean, come
racist.
Come on.
Aren't you English?
I mean, not really. I'm Canadian.
Oh, yeah.
It's impossible to be racist against English people.
That's true.
I know. I did it. I did it very well. I pulled a good gag today with my sister in a Costco today. We were hating on English people in public. It went over very well.
Oh yeah,
swimmingly. No, because there were English people like right behind us, and they were very upset.
What'd you say?
Just called them imperial dogs.
Okay.
So something about thanking them for inventing slavery and ruining the entire Western Hemisphere or something like that.
Nice.
But yeah, to get back to things, I think that Adam makes a good
Julian,
point.
this guy was not Bullet Train. This
No?
was racist.
I don't think
Yeah,
it was
of course
racist.
it was. Of course it was.
I
Was that
thought it
not
was-
obvious?
I think
I
two
thought it
people sound the
was-
same. That's not racist, is it?
No, well, he's black too, right? So it's not. I thought you were talking about the black chav guy from Bullet Train. So now,
I mean,
if
I
you're
was.
black and you're English, you're one guy. There's only one black English guy. Well, I guess there's him and Idris Elba, and since this guy is bad looking, it can't be Idris Elba, right? Like,
So you just Googled and confirmed that he wasn't in both movies?
Mhm.
Okay, I appreciate that. That sets my mind at ease.
DJ was saying I had a good point about something.
Yes, thank you for allowing your ego to return us to the plot. I think you make a good point that the B plot was it felt a little flabby. I think it could have been tighter. There were definitely some moments when I just wanted to get back to the main thing. That whole bit where they're like in the cabin back at home and Goldie's having this reminisce, but she doesn't really come to terms with anything until a few scenes down the road when she's really pushed to her extreme. I don't know. There felt like that was just they were just checking boxes essentially.
but that was the big reveal of her, like her villainy, right? In that home space that she in her childhood, like her most treasured possession was that library.
I think that's
book
what DJ's saying. That's
God.
what DJ's saying. It was an important moment, but it wasn't really like.
There was no
It was hard to build
capitalization
an
on
emotional
it.
connection. Yeah, it was hard.
Yeah,
to really
it was. They just immediately
identify
skipped
with.
over to like, here's Puss and Softpaws. Just hey, they're trying to get the map. Oop-de-doo. And they didn't. I don't know. I felt like they could have incorporated her struggle into that scene a lot better. But they're just like, okay, nope, they're back to the Three Bears and Goldilocks like right off the bat.
Okay, counterpoint. The parts when they were looking at the map early on and the environment changed, right? I thought that was cool the first time it happened. And then the next 3 times it affected the plot, I was like, this is fucking terrible, right? Like, you need to choose a different plot device than the entire world changes, right?
I
And
thought that was. I wish they'd used that more actually.
yeah, well, maybe I'm just out of the group on this one.
I think it was interesting world building to have characters' own deep vices and controversies reflected in the world itself.
I thought it was really shallow that I mean, I guess the dog is not just a dog. He's a
Jesus.
very innocent and abandoned dog. Never mind. I'm going to retract that criticism.
Sure. I think, and I don't want to sound like I'm lampooning the B plot. I think it acted as a really good mirror. It really reflected what Puss was going on with, what he was struggling with. The side that wasn't the whole mortality bit, the whole like coming to terms with this weird found family, and Goldie's whole struggle with trying to push away her found family. I don't know. I think it juxtaposed Puss's own struggles really well.
Huh.
And it wasn't I don't know, it wasn't punching me in the face with it. It wasn't going, look how they're both dealing with it differently. It was just kind of like, hey, they're both kind of similarly going through like weird opposites, and I don't know, hey, jazz hands.
Yeah, I think one of the things is that just more time with that kind of thing, you know.
Mm-hmm. I think more time with it would have done it good.
What did you guys think about the death character?
Yeah, I was just about to bring him up. It was my favorite line in the whole film. I was going to ask you guys what your guys' favorite line is, but now I'm afraid I won't get to say it if I give you guys any airtime, so fuck you. That he said, I'm not literally, metaphorically, poetically, I am death, right? I thought that was so good. You are metaphorically death, yeah.
Really? I loved Death too. Probably my favorite character. I
really
felt
good.
they were so ham-fisted with him. I felt some of his line delivery was just so unnecessary. Oh man, the way he comes into the scene in that first fight is so good. The cinematography, the lighting, the atmosphere, it just, wow. What a menacing character. And then they have him say the stupidest stuff.
I completely disagree with you, DJ.
Okay, let me finish
I just
first.
want to. Okay, yeah.
Let me be really angry first because I'm not going to have the chance to talk in the next 15 minutes. He does that thing. He does that thing where he points at his eyes and points back at Puss. I wanted to smack him in the face. He says that line about I'm not metaphorically death. Like, yeah, you don't have to tell me I'm not stupid. I know you're death. You said it. I believe you.
That was funny.
Kids are so smart. You don't need to say that. Children will pick up on it. They're geniuses.
It was tongue in cheek. He was like,
I'm not a metaphor, but he is a metaphor. It didn't need. I was just so offended as a viewer that they were like, he's gonna blurt this out and it's gonna be a 10-second scene. But if we're talking about favorite lines, man, when he just dead ass.
No, hold the favorite line. Let Adam respond.
Oh. Okay.
Well, I kind of misunderstood what DJ was going for. I don't necessarily disagree with what he's saying there, but what I was going to say is I liked how, at least as he was introduced, it maybe didn't go quite the way I wanted throughout the rest of the movie, but I liked how Death in this movie, instead of being kind of the dark, stoic figure that he's usually portrayed as, he's just kind of portrayed as being like this really creepy, kind of almost crazy guy.
Yeah.
You know?
He's a furry.
I guess, but like, sure, but I mean, like, he's like unsettling on a level that,
like a furry.
I'm
like
not
a milady.
I'm talking about like, yeah, he's like, you know, almost kind of awkward and like not, you know, like usually when Death is portrayed, it's like, you know, this quiet figure that's like, you know, I you know, rule who dies and what, like it's a very kind of like solemn, stoic figure, but this guy's just like crazy, like I need to kill you. Like you are violating the rules, I'm gonna come and fucking rip you apart. Like it's a scary portrayal of Death that he doesn't usually get, you know.
He's the kid in your class that if anyone's gonna bring a gun to school, it's him.
Exactly, Julian. I want to extend off that. And to me, just thinking about it now, like if I'm going to attach it back to the rich people advice line that I was doing as the message of the movie, if Death is going to take us on a personification in the real world, right, that is the fascist kind of semi-movement of the right-wing Republican terror organization, Al-Qaeda, right, that is kind of sparking up throughout the south of the United States right now. He is that kind of online, kind of furry, who's just like awkward and can kill a whole bunch of kids at any time and be the responsibility of your fucking actions in life, basically.
Yeah, he's one of the Nazi furries. It makes sense now.
So yeah, I just thought that was kind of a portrayal that I haven't really seen before. I'm sure it's been done, but yeah.
Before we hear DJ's favorite line, I just wanted to say I almost turned around on my love for the portrayal of Death when, after all this hatred that he has, after Puss learns his lesson, he just goes, well, that sucks. I'll see you later. That sucked. I was like, that's lame.
What else do you do when the whole moral is Puss comes to terms with morality or mortality?
I think they should have given him his lives back all the same. You know what I mean? Like,
really? No way.
What,
that
like
would have been.
Wish?
Yeah. He actually learned something. Why not reward him?
Because that just absolutely defeats the purpose of him learning.
Then what's the point of learning anything?
Because he grows as an individual.
Now he can live like every other human.
Now he has to work 40 hours a week to support that fucking dog. Like.
He has a lot of money. Like, did you see
come on, that was a joke. Like... I know, he's Elon Musk, for God's sakes, is my argument. Like,
so yeah, DJ, what was your favorite line?
Selma Hayek was the soft pause.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been all in on Selma Hayek. I don't know about you guys, but like,
I went
always.
I went into her first.
Shut up.
Like ever? Like
before Jacob.
Like first?
Yeah.
Wow.
I was
How old were you?
Young.
Oh, Julian.
Like really bad young?
No, like legally, like she won't get in trouble. But
Oh, are you sure?
Yeah. DJ,
Okay.
what was your favorite line of the movie?
I feel like the parameters here
Actually,
have changed.
real quick, I want to talk about.
DJ will not get to talk. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, DJ, go ahead.
No.
Okay.
You go ahead. No, No. Julian, actually, did I? No, Jake. Okay, yeah. Sorry, Adam, go ahead.
No, my favorite line.
Interject.
Yeah, of course.
What a B plot? How about a beep plot? Is that anything?
That's funny.
Did you just Morse code B?
I think so.
That's clever. Yeah. What about it? What about the beep plot?
Oh no, that was all I had.
You got
the beep plot, not the beep plot.
Come on. Okay. Anyways, Adam.
Salma Hayek looks like Frida Kahlo without the big mole on the center of her head or the unibrow. But if she had both of those things, I would still love Salma Hayek. Anyways, now
just as like a voice.
That wasn't.
You know who Frida Kahlo is? The socialist artist.
Yes.
Sounds like a cow's name.
She used to pal around with Trotsky back in the 30s and 40s. Anyways,
hey, good for her.
That wasn't being Morse code, by the way. That would have been really funny, and I wish I'd said that up properly.
Shucks. Well, you'll get them next time.
Burning time here. I think both Adam and DJ have a bit they want to do. Adam, do yours, and then DJ will do your best line, and then Julian, you better have a best line so that this works out.
If I don't have a best line, I'm not someone who usually remembers.
No, I thought you said you had a bit to do. We're glossing over your best line.
My bit was interrupting DJ, and I did.
Oh, that's funny because my bit was being interrupted by you, and I honestly I was going to burn the next 8 minutes by allowing you to interrupt me, thus infuriating Jacob. And I was really hoping the last minute would just be Jacob.
I guess if I had a favorite line, it would probably be something that the ethical bug said because I loved him so much.
Funny.
Yeah, he was amazing.
On one hand, I wish there was more of him, but on the same time, I'm glad. Like
they rid him like a perfect.
Yeah. They gave him some of the best lines of the fucking. Just when he's like accusing Jack Horner of just being a horrible, irritable monster.
I do, touching on that, I do really appreciate that the film didn't try to add nuance to Horner. There was no gray. It was just, here's a villain. Here is an absolutely terrible person. They're
Shrek
bad.
Has always done a really good job of that there are irredeemable people out there, right? Like, there are Hitlers
Lord
in the world.
Fuckwad.
Yeah. The
Prince
fairy
Charming.
godmother.
Rumpelstiltskin.
Yeah, they all are dealt with permanently. Like, there's no fucking resolution where they live happily ever after. One's eaten, one is turned into soap, right? Like, they're violently ended.
Yeah, and there are villains that get redeemed in the Shrek universe.
Yeah,
but like, not like the main one. There's always like one big shitbag that.
That's why
them
doing irredeemable villains is good, because they have that redemption arc on a couple times. I mean,
it's like the
Shrek himself is a redemption arc.
For sure.
Yeah, Shrek's the villain. And even in this movie, like, every protagonist was a criminal. Like, they were like a thief. Like,
well, I think
it's literally the Goldilocks and the three bags.
Mexicans are criminals, Adam. You're racist.
No, they literally, it's the Goldilocks and her family. They refer to themselves as a crime family.
I can't believe you'd come on the show and say that, Adam.
Yeah,
I can't personally.
Oh, sorry, that's
Julian. Hit me with the beef. To me, before the show, he called them not too late.
Oh, on the draw? You say it again.
No,
no,
natural now.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm just being me, Papa.
It is interesting to then juxtapose Horner to Death, because Death is very objectively the villain as well.
Yeah,
but more of like a pointed.
Is Death a villain?
I think Death is a villain. I think they're much more nuanced. I think maybe I shouldn't say a villain. They're definitely an antagonist.
Yeah, an antagonist
Okay.
for sure.
I feel like the way that
conflict.
death was portrayed, maybe
Yes.
with the exception of like right at the end when he's like, okay, you've learned your lesson, I'm not going to kill you. There's some nuance there, but for the most part, he was like very much like, I'm just going to rip you apart because I don't like how you've been living your life. Like,
Well, he's been
Like,
personally
he had his-
insulting Death.
Yeah.
To be fair, Death deserved that anger. The little scratched out little cat heads on his sickle of him watching Puss die over and over again while saying, "I laugh at death." That was very funny. I laughed at that aloud.
I don't
The
think
other
it's
thing-
I don't think it's so much as a personal thing. I think it's more Death really dislikes that Puss has no value in living at all.
I guess there were a lot of cat characters in this movie, and I don't think any of the other ones talked about their 9 lives.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah,
it's not just
Softpaws
Puss, though,
didn't-
right?
Women don't mess around with their lives. They just, they keep their lives. And that's why Salma Hayek didn't talk about her past lives. She still got them 9 lives in the bag, baby.
So do you think that like when a cat gets like really, really old and they haven't used their 9 lives, they like die of old age and then they come back and then they immediately die again?
That's an
because
interesting
they're, like-
question.
Because-
I assume it
and they just
operates
burn
like
through their 9 lives in like the span of like 30 seconds just because their
assume-
body cannot support life anymore.
I assume cat Hindu rebirth borrows from Catholicism, and that you are reborn into your like idealized 30-year-old body, no matter the age that you are you die at. So like even babies will be 30 in heaven under Catholic dogma.
I wonder if maybe you haven't burned them. Maybe it gives you extra draws for like an afterlife lottery. Maybe I don't know. They win like heavenly yarn balls, little chew toys, catnip.
Yeah.
Really good catnip.
Also note that most of the other cats in the movie were not sapient.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah,
That was weird.
a little bit.
It
yeah,
definitely
They couldn't
definitely
speak.
is. If I remember correctly, there's a point in Shrek 2, maybe the first Puss in Boots movie, where Puss just barefaced hits on another cat who is obviously not on the same
Sentient?
cognitive level as him.
That's something else I wanted to talk about because in the series,
Mm-hmm.
which like I said, I think is a prequel to the Shrek movies, but DJ, the cat he was like Softpaws, he was with her in the first movie, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So that would have been like before the series and before the Shrek movies,
Mm-hmm.
and they reunited in this movie. But there was another chick in that series.
Was there?
That's like
named
the cat.
Dulcinea.
That's like
Yeah.
the cat version of Indiana Jones marrying
Looks-
the first lady in the 4th one.
Looks identical. Yeah, I guess that is a good parallel. Looks almost identical to this one, but she's like white instead of black.
Ah.
But I thought it was weird because like that whole series like builds up their relationship, and like at the end, I think they both leave the town together, and then we just like have no idea what happens to this.
We know they tried to
cat
get
chick.
married and they failed.
No, I'm talking about the other, the one that he gets with after.
Oh, so
they
there's
broke up
another
the first
cat
time.
woman?
Oh,
I just wasn't
that made me think. I do have a favorite line in the movie. It's when he is apologizing to her about leaving her at the altar, and she's like, "Oh, I didn't show up."
Yeah.
I
yeah.
didn't believe it.
That was a really good. I laughed at
So
that line.
funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, just to close out the episode, I wanted to talk about to shift to some international politics.
hang on,
Can
hang
I
on,
get
hang on,
one
hang
more
on.
stinger?
Whoa,
Yeah,
whoa.
one more stinger.
DJ, what was your favorite line in the movie?
Death says pick it up, and wow, I got chills.
Okay, all right, yeah.
Oh,
Just the delivery, the scene, the way
the
it goes
first
on.
time?
Yeah, when he says pick it up and Puss just shits a brick and runs away. Like, yo.
We'll just run a little long. I
was good.
completely agree. That whole you mentioned this earlier. That whole first scene with Death was just perfectly done.
Brilliant. Oh, some of the best animation I've seen in, I think I want to say like decades.
The way they
Yeah,
I
handled
love the
action,
animation
It
style.
was good, yeah.
Yeah.
the way they handled the action was so fun and like engaging, but it looked like it saved so much money as well. It must be
Yeah.
the future for animation, in my opinion.
I
for a
think
bit.
it was an artistic choice. Like it
For sure.
that animation style. Like I've seen it in a few other recent animated movies. Like,
Spider-Verse.
It's very Japanese.
yeah, Spider-Verse. Yeah. And it works. Like it's the frame. I don't know what it is. Like the frames.
It
They
works.
they just
and
they
it's
punch
cheap.
it. They punch it up. They take a lot of inspiration from old traditional animation and they go, here are your key frames, here's where the action hits, and it works so well.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot you're an actual animator.
I actually know how this shit works, and nobody ever talks to me about it.
I'm glad you liked it too, because I was like, wow, this is really good. And
Yeah,
we should have brought
I wonder what DJ thinks. Yeah.
You should take a minute, talk about it.
Oh no, God, I could talk about it for I would need another whole episode to talk about all the crazy stuff they get away with in this film.
Okay, I'm going to ask you next week, but I want to talk about international politics before we close out.
And you want a stinger?
Can I get a stinger? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Blackberry.
Yeah.
Now, was that the stinger, or did you just get Adam to say it?
I misclicked. Hang on.
It was the stinger.
All right. Since we have a guest this week, I just wanted to ask a person that isn't just plugged into this shit. Maybe it has extended to a regular damn person. Have you heard of the city Bakhmut, Adam?
I didn't agree to this.
Okay.
No, you did when you came on.
Yeah. Have you
Yeah,
heard
you
of the
signed that
city
waiver.
Bakhmut?
Just say no.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, perfect. I was really hoping you'd say I was really hoping you'd say yes and that you'd seen it on CNN. But anyways, no big deal.
I have been very isolated the last couple weeks.
Fair enough.
Stuff. My computer's not working. I've just been playing guitar.
I think
not even on my phone.
I think last week, I don't think the episode is up yet, but I said that I could confirm that Soledar had fallen, which is just to the north of Bakhmut.
The train station, right?
Yeah, the train station has fallen as well now. That was the last holdout, the last time I reported to you.
Yeah,
in Soledar.
This is in Ukraine, by the way, Adam.
Yeah, I figured.
And the city that they're trying to get by taking Soledar to the north is Bakhmut, which is a big city in the center of the line, right? You got to take it to be able to crack the line because it's like a supply hub and it's interconnected with all the rails, and the town itself operates as a fortress, right? All these reasons you got to take this fucking city. I think they've taken it basically at the time of speaking, the Russians. They're in the middle of an offensive and it's being really quieted down because, propaganda, we live in a big brother state. But and that's why the Germans did this kind of like a chicken game with the Americans about sending the tanks to the Ukraine, and then sent the tanks anyways. They sent lots of Leopard 2s, just the Leopard 2A5s. They said they're going to supply the Leopard 2A5s that other fucking countries are sending, right? Which means they're sending the Leopard 2A7s before long.
I thought they were still a hard no, but
it's not a hard no. They're supplying the Leopards that they've sent to other countries that are the other countries are now sending. It's a change of position.
Interesting.
But you are right. They are playing chicken with the Americans right now because they don't want to do it alone. They want the Americans to send their tanks as well. But it's a different thing for the Americans because the M1A1 Abrams is a complicated tank. It has a jet engine that runs in a circle to destroy its gas. And so that means for them to be able to operate M1A1 tanks, they need Americans basically in Ukraine to fucking repair and keep them up to date and shit like that. And if there's Americans in Ukraine, the Russians can just kill those Americans to, escalate to de-escalate.
Actually, I'm Googling here just to keep myself in the loop, and the Americans have said yes, they're going to send up to 30 tanks, apparently.
When did that happen?
51 minutes ago, according to BBC.
Damn. So it is escalating. And I am going to be right, Julian. He will throw a nuke, and then we got to get clips of me saying that
That's
everywhere.
me being right.
I guess
it's us being right. Come on. We're in this together.
These are
even
all,
Adam now.
These are all left look predictions coming true, and yeah, now Adam's implicated.
Adam, while we have you here in the few final seconds, do you want to have your first and perhaps only left look take? Your prediction.
Oh yeah, make a prediction about anything.
Sure.
Summer's coming.
No, hang on, we gotta wait for Adam.
That's my prediction.
Can I just have a final word?
Sure.
And then we stop the episode after I say it.
Okay.
No,
well,
Julian has to say.
I'll say summer's coming. There you go. Okay, now Adam with the final word.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Oh, now?
Yeah. Now.
Yes.
Okay. Pussy and boobs.
Oh.